Hi guys, I'm Abby. Welcome. So the last video I posted was of me working on a Harry Potter quilt. Had to think there for a second. But if you don't know, because I did mention dates in that video, but if you don't know, I finished that, I don't know, right after or right before Christmas of last year. Now, today that I'm filming is March 1st. I have not sewn since then. That's not exactly true. I've sewn like on my serger a little, but mostly I have not sewn at all. And I'm not going to sew for a while because the other week, I can't remember if it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I took my machine in to get serviced and they told me 4 weeks. Now I believe because of like bad weather, they're being delayed. So I think it's gonna be closer to 5. So I'm not going to be sewing anytime soon, so I have decided to do a lot of prep work and getting a lot of things done that I should have been doing anyways. But now, since I don't have anything besides my serger, I don't have my sewing machine, now I am like forcing myself to focus on them. So this vlog is going to be a little different. Today I'm going to work on, or like in this video, I'm going to work on like cutting out fabric for my quilts. I have like 5 quilt projects that are ready to go and be started. Like I have all the fabric, all the instructions and everything. So I just need to get started on them. So that's what this video is gonna be about this time. It's gonna be a little different. Obviously I'm not gonna do any sewing. And that's not saying I couldn't get sewing done. I could go over to my mom's and use her machine. She wouldn't mind at all. She would actually love that. But I really wanna take this time to actually do these prep things. So maybe when I get my machine back, I can really get some things done. So today I'm going to start cutting out a quilt. I have to iron out all the fabric, but I'll probably break this up into a few days of like cutting fabric. Just depends on how, I guess, tired I am after getting through this quilt. But I'm going to cut as far as I can in each project. But before that, I will like describe what the project is, or like show you the fabrics and the pattern I'm going to use for them. So yeah, but other than that, I'll show you kind of other ideas of things I'm going to do until I get my machine back. So I'll show you those real quick. So in case you're wondering, I do still have the Harry Potter quilt. I need to take it to my mom to get it quilted, but you know, it's still there. It's kind of like how I left it after the end of the last video. But I have 2 quilts to bind. This one I've already started. This is a video I did make. This is my Koala Elizabeth Hartman quilt. I just have to bind it. I got it back from my mom. She did a really great job of quilting it. I can't really show it right now because how it's hanging, but you can see I already started binding it. I think in one of these videos I'll show like how I bind the quilts. But I have that quilt to bind. I have this quilt to bind, which that one I'm binding just kind of like regularly with invisible stitch. But this one I think I'm gonna do big stitch binding on it. It's where you can see the stitches. So I'm gonna show how I kind of go about that. And then I have tons of sewing projects, like garment projects to do. I also have like this random jelly roll, but I have tons of projects that I need to finish. Some of these are like started. Some of these just have the patterns like cut out and ready to go, but the fabric's not cut. Some of them I start, like this one I started cutting the fabric. But yeah, I have tons of projects. These are all like my quilt projects. So yeah, I have tons to do and tons of like prep work. Like I printed out and pre-cut the patterns. I can like put these together and cut out the size that I want. So I have tons of prep work I can do. But today we're gonna start on the quilts. I also have like a project over there. That's the one I like said I used my serger on. It's like a pair of pajamas. But I started that one, but I can't really go further on that one until I get my machine back. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna start today, is just like the cutting of all these quilts. Because in general, I just get quilts done faster. I don't know. Just because they're simpler for me to like do. Like garments just have a lot of like smaller things to do. I don't know how to explain this, but I just in general do quilts faster. Now I'm gonna just do all the cutting of my quilt because I have all the fabrics ready. So let's get the first quilt out and I'll show you all the fabrics and the pattern. All right, so the first quilt I'm gonna like start working on, it's actually the newest fabric I sort of bought, but in January I went to Indianapolis and me and my mom visited the store that was kind of like in downtown, and it's called Crimson Tate. Very cute store. If you are ever in Indianapolis, I would look it up. But there I found this bundle. I believe they're all art gallery fabrics, but they have like greens and pinks and like almost orangey corals, but I really liked this bundle. I think it has 22 fat quarters in it, but I picked this up there, and I picked it up because I had a pattern in mind art for it already, and that's the quilt I'm going to start with, and that pattern is Nightingale by Lo and Behold Stitchery, this one. And let's see, so I said this has like 22 fat quarters in it. With that, I can make the large throw, which takes 20 fat quarters. So yeah, that's the quilt I'm gonna make with it. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, this is the quilt I'm gonna make with it. And then I just picked up all the fabric for the background, just a simple white. It has like a light cross hatching to it, but I'm gonna open this real quick. We have to iron all these, but yeah, these are really pretty. I think this will be my first quilt to use art gallery fabric besides like a border on one of them, and that fabric I got from my sister. She had extras, but this one has a lot of pinks and greens and, like I said, oranges, kind of rusty colors, and I really love the combination of them. I think it will look really good in this quilt. Since I'm not going to use all of the fat quarters, I think I might take out some of the like plainer white ones since my background is white, so I can keep all the colors in it as much as I can. Has a good mix of solids and patterns and then more graphic pictures, but I really love the green section within this one. I really loved these fabrics, so I'm really excited to see how they turn out. I think since the fat quarter bundle like came all together and it looks so well together, I thought it would just look great in this pattern. So yeah, I'm gonna start ironing all these and then get to cutting, because I think I will be able to get a lot done. Usually when you start a quilt, you can like get a lot of the cutting of the fabrics done before you have to start sewing. So that's what I'm gonna focus on mainly with these quilts. But yeah, we're going to start ironing all these fabrics out so we can cut them. Yay! Okay, so all of the fabrics are ironed. I don't know if this happens to you guys, but I get really hot when I have to iron a lot of fabrics just because the iron lets off so much heat. And I'm like wearing, you know, long sleeves and long pants and socks, so I was very warm. To like cool off now, but all the fabrics are ironed and ready to be cut, and I can confirm a few things. They all are art gallery fabrics. Some of them are from the Pure Solids line. I don't know exactly what colors, I can't really tell you, but the like patterned ones are from their Wild Forgotten line. So those are the two lines that they're from, because some of the fabrics did have selvage on them, so I was able to see what line they were from. I don't know if you've ever sewn with art gallery fabrics or you haven't. Their fabrics are so nice and smooth. Like the cotton is such like a smooth premium type cotton. I could really tell when I got to the background fabric, my like white background fabric. This one I have hanging right here. It is not art gallery and like it's a little rougher. It'll be fine, but I can definitely tell the difference. But I will show you all the fabrics laid out real quick and like all the colors. Super excited for how this quilt is gonna look because I love all these colors. So here I have all the greens, and it goes into browns, oranges, and then into the pinks. So yeah, I think most of these solid colors are from their solid, Pure Solid lines, and then all the rest are from the Wild Forgotten line. But there are 21 fabrics, so I have to pick one to not do, which I'm gonna probably pick this one just because it's so light and it's not my favorite pattern in this collection, because it's the same as this, but this one, you know, at least is the dark color of it. So since I'm doing a, you know, white background, probably since this one's just like the lightest fabric, it's not going to stand out as much. I'll probably choose that one of my fat quarters to not do. I got all it laid out, and so now I can start looking at the directions to cut them. Okay, so I finished cutting out all the fabric for the Nightingale quilt, which is, it like took a while to do all the fat quarters, but I got them all done. I did the background, so the next like step in it is sewing, so I'm just gonna set it off to the side and start cutting a different quilt. It was funny, after I finished cutting the fabric, I did go over to my mom's and I took the Harry Potter quilt over there. It still needs borders on it, but it's basically done. Since I don't have a sewing machine, I would either have to do it over there or my mom nicely will do it for me. But while I was over there, I took over a jelly roll that I have to look at the patterns that my mom has, and ended up picking all the extra fabric and a pattern out. So that quilt is like ready to be cut out if I want to. But then I also picked up a whole nother quilt of all fabrics that my mom had, and so now I like gained another project somehow, but at least I have all the fabric for both of them, so I can cut them out, which I think I'm gonna do next, just because they are like super simple. One of them is also fat quarters, and then like there's a lot of blank space or like negative space where it's just a background fabric, and so when I show you, you'll see, but not a whole lot of cutting needed for that, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna start on those. I'll show you the patterns and the fabrics first. But yeah, I finished one project, took one to my mom's, and then gained more projects somehow. It's kind of opposite of what I was trying to do, trying to get rid of projects. Here I am gaining them. But at least I didn't have to buy any fabric. This was all stuff my mom already had, so at least that's a plus. But I'm gonna pick out the next one to get started on. But first I'll show you, like, these are all the cutouts from the Nightingale quilt. These fabrics are so pretty. I can't wait. And then I have all the background squares along with those squares. So yeah, this, if you don't remember, this is the Nightingale quilt, and it's gonna be in these colors. So I can't wait to start sewing that when I have a machine again. Okay, so when I went over to my mom's, I took over this jelly roll. It's like a Kona Fabrics pastel-y jelly roll. And so I wanted to pick out a pattern to kind of use this for, because this is all I had. And so I was looking through this book. It's called Jelly Filled. It's by Vanessa Gozerman. I don't know how to say her last name. But I picked out, this is just jelly roll quilts. And so I picked out this pattern called Smart Cookie to do. And I think it will look great with these pastel colors. And so all I had to do was find some black and white fabric to, finish this out. And so I'm going to cut this one next. And this one basically uses all the colors in the jelly roll, so that's nice. It's a very big quilt. It's like 84 by 84 when it's done. So this is what I'm going to start cutting out next. Like I said, I was able to pick up all the fabric I needed for these quilts. Just a plain black, and then this white has like a little bit of a leafy texture. So those plus like the bright colors, I think it's gonna look really cool in the quilt. And I'm like shedding pieces of fabric all over the place from the jelly roll. But this, when I was there, this is the other project I picked up. My mom picked up a bunch of these like postcard patterns. This one's by Purple Pineapple Studio. She picked these up when she went to QuiltCon in Arizona, and she said, you know, pick a pattern and pick out all the fabric because she has plenty. And so I picked out this one because I think it's really cool. I haven't done like this big like blank space kind of project, and so I have a bunch of just plain white fabric, and then these are all fat quarters. I know we've had these for a while. I think we picked these up at like the Houston show and 3 or 4 years ago. So they all go together. They're all same line. I do not know what the line is, but it has like these tigers in this print, and there's like a big tiger there. The only reason I'm not cutting out this one first, because I think it would go quickly, is because it needs like specialty like rulers and stuff. I have to go online and like print out like the hexagon shape, because I don't own any. I only own this ruler, so these call for like a special hexagon shape that I have to go, but they offer it like free online under their templates. So yeah, I'm gonna start with that one because that one I can do right now, and then later go to find the templates to cut out this one. And so yeah, this is the like full project I picked up at my mom's house, and that one I was literally just going to look for a pattern, and then she just happened to have fabrics that went along with it, so I can start ironing and cutting that one out and then add it to my pile of pre-cut quilts. Okay, so here I have all of the colors out and ironed from the jelly roll. You can see it's a nice gradation between all the colors. So now I have 24 strips. I think it looks so pretty. You know, it's a rainbow definitely, but it's like these pastel colors, so it's nice and light, kind of bright and happy. But yeah, I think I might have to buy another one of these jelly rolls because the pattern I think calls for 40 strips, and I only have 24 here, like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24, yeah. I only have 24 strips and I need 40, so I may eventually go buy another one. I still know the store has like another like set of these or whatever. I can buy the exact same one and just have like double of each color. But yeah, I need 40 strips and I only have 24, so I'm still gonna like work on cutting these as much as I can, but eventually I will have to go buy another set and cut those. But also I need to like iron and cut out the background fabrics or like the other pieces. Need to first like clean off the black. But yeah, there are all the colors, looking really pretty, and I can move on to the next step. Okay, so I have, for my jelly roll quilt, I have all the strips, the background white, and the black squares cut out. So this quilt is done for now. I have to go buy another roll of, you know, the colors, since it was like half the size they usually are. I have to go buy another one and cut those. But that's gonna be a bit till I do that. So this quilt is done for cutting. I'm just gonna like place it all together and start the next quilt that I'm going to cut. Okay, so the last quilt I'm gonna cut for this video, since I couldn't cut out this hexagon one because it needs like special measurement tools and stuff, I'm gonna move to one of my other quilts. It's still postcard quilt pattern. I actually have two I still need to cut out, but I'm only gonna film me cutting one of them. And I'm really excited about this one. I've had this fabric for a while. I saw it at Joann's, but I'll show you the pattern first. It's called Little Jewels. It's another little postcard pattern. Just has big kind of rectangles with the background just being, yeah, it's just like, it shows off like a lot of the fabric. So if you have really cool big patterns, this would be a good, on your fabric, this would be a good one to show off like big patterns on your fabric. And that's kind of what I wanted this for. I'll show you the fabric I got real quick. I'm really excited for this quilt and the other one, but I'm going to cut out this fabric today. I have to iron the fabric and then cut it, but it's going to be the last quilt for this video, but I'll show you. So I saw this fabric at Joann's and I knew I had to make a quilt out of it. Me and my sisters are big fans of Golden Girls. Really sad that Betty White died earlier this year, but I picked up some of this fabric from Joann's and I think it's so adorable. And they have a couple different prints, kind of fun Miami vibes since they live in Miami. And then we have this one, and see they're kind of like larger prints, so that's why I wanted to use this pattern. You can see it just has these big slots for the prints to show. And yeah, I got this one, I think, and then this is going to be like my background color because on here it's white, but I'm going to make this bright peachy orange. So this is the last quilt I'm gonna cut out in this video. These are like gonna be the main squares, these like blues and whites. I think I did the backing for this one. So yeah, so I think the pink's gonna really stand out next to these. It'll draw the pink out of the designs within their like clothes and stuff without being too overpowering, and then the back will be pink. So yeah, this is the last quilt I'm going to cut out. Okay, so I finished cutting the fabric for this Little Jewels Golden Girls quilt, and that means I finished basically cutting all the fabric for these 3 quilts. It took me a while. I feel like I've been cutting forever, especially doing all these fat quarters on this one. This one went really quick since it is such big pieces. But yeah, I have 3 whole quilts cut. I have more quilts I can cut, but those are the only ones I'm going to do for this video. But yeah, I'm going to switch doing some other things like other prep work until I can finally get my machine back. I have quilts that need binded. I could get back to cutting more quilts that I have. I can do a lot of prep work for garments that I want to make. Maybe I can see if any of them I can just do with a serger, maybe get at least one project done, or you know, do steps of it with just the serger. But yeah, that was a lot of cutting and ironing, but it does help to get all this prep work done. So I feel like once I do get my machine back, I can get a lot of things done and kind of quickly. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, even if it's a little different of a vlog just because I don't have my machine. But hopefully if you ever get stuck in this situation again, this will help you get ideas of things you can keep going until you are able to sew again. But yeah, I will catch you guys next time. I think my next video is like an overview of the Dallas Quilt Show. Hopefully show you some good quilts. I'll show you what I bought and all that. But I will see you guys next time. Bye.